I realize I maybe didn't have the settings set up, but I think it's set up now. Auto start and auto stop, which is some kind of settings that YouTube likes. If I spiffy up the profile pic, well, what do you want me to do? I don't know. That's the best I could come up with. It's kind of the idea is it's literally just like, like a D and a parenthesis, but then it makes like a man, so it's like kind of a cool, like 2-in-1. Like a little symbol, that everyone can gather around. It's like the American flag. One day it'll be like the American flag. Everyone loves the American flag if they're an American. Everyone will love the D parenthesis if they're a true Dan++ member. They'll rally around the symbol, and it will give them hope in times of need. That might be a little ambitious, but anyway, as far as creating a game goes, the other thing we have to decide is what engine we're gonna do it in. So obviously our top choices are usually Godot and Unreal Engine. Mainly I use Unreal Engine for 3D games because it has very strong 3D capabilities, and Godot for 2D games because Godot is actually fun and lightweight. And so if you're gonna make a 2D game, it's easier to just go ahead and use Godot. So yeah, I think that's the question. So tonight, should we make a 3D game or a 2D game to show off our asset combining strategies with? That is the question that faces us tonight. The first question. Obviously, there will be many questions. Why don't we just ask ChatGPT? Give me a definitive answer. Should I make a 2D or 3D game if I only have 2 hours and I need it to be exciting because I'm streaming to people who have very short attention spans, presumably? Godot 2D is a disgrace. Well, what? It's better than Unreal 2D. I don't think a Godot 3D is as good as Unreal 3D, because Unreal just has more stuff packed in there. But I mean, that's why Godot is more lightweight, because they have less stuff packed in there. But still, I think Unreal's 3D is a little more compelling. And ChatGPT gives us what I kind of think is the correct answer here. If you have less time, you should make a 2D game. It's just easier. But at the same time, we're not looking to make 2D as a disgrace anywhere. Okay, so you just don't like 2D games. I mean, that's fine. I tend to prefer 3D games as well. I guess most of my favorites are 3D, except Brawlhalla, which I play sometimes. Love a good fighting game. Yeah, so ChatGPT is kind of recommending us a 2D game, but it's also kind of recommending us a simpler game, which isn't necessarily what we want. I don't know, guys. I'm down to boot up Unreal if you guys are, okay with that. I love me some Unreal Engine, and we haven't booted up Unreal Engine in a while, and 2D is just removing a dimension. Well, to be fair, you can't do 2D in real life either. It just doesn't really work. So 2D is actually kind of the one thing you can't do in real life. Well, not the one thing. Obviously, you also can't fly a spaceship around, which is something that you can do in video games. Okay, so if you want to do 3D, we can do 3D. Absolutely fine. We'll ignore ChatGPT. Sorry, bud. We're going 3D. And giving me advice. I know what to do. All right, so let's go 3D, and let's maybe fire up the Epic Games launcher. Hang on one second. Let me make sure I can get this booted up correctly. I think I had another Unreal project I just want to get rid of right quick. Here we go. Let's lock it down. Okay, all right, we have the we have the the Epic Games Launcher, sorry, opened up on our Unreal Engine tab, and we can go ahead and launch whatever version of Unreal we want. Actually, I think there's a new one, 5.4.1, but obviously we don't have time to download that, so we'll just run 5.3.2. April Fool's, right? No, it's not April Fool's. Guys, Unreal is good. Look, GagSwatch, tell me, once and for all, why don't you like Unreal? Why don't you like it? It's a beautiful engine. It's very powerful. If you hit me with a very solid reason why you don't like Unreal Engine, then maybe we'll make a last-minute decision and switch to Godot. But it would have to be a really solid reason. It would have to be an absolute banger reason if you want to get this last-minute switch to Godot to happen. I'm kind of thinking, guys, maybe we just go ahead and throw in third-person visual scripting. Well, I prefer C++, but for it's, since we have a short amount of time, third-person visual scripting. No, I know it's not lightweight, open source, and easy to use, but to be fair, Godot actually isn't that much easier to use. It does have lightweight and open source, though, so I don't know. Let me see the file size. Applications, Godot, somewhere in here. So many apps. Here we go. Yeah, 265 megabytes. Unreal is kind of huge. All right, I guess we'll try it. We'll try a 3D game. Plus, using Unreal is kind of cheating. The other reason we're not going to use Unreal for making a game with free assets is that Unreal has a lot of free assets as well. So we want this to be kind of talking about free assets that you can use in any engine, right? So let's use Unreal as a fair example because they don't really have any engine-specific free assets. Okay, the scripting is a little harder, but they do have visual scripting, right? If you don't want to do actual coding, you can do visual scripting, which Unreal's visual scripting is the best there is. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and select our Godot projects folder. And then we'll call our new project Free Assets Game. And we will create it. Don't need to specify anything else, do we? We'll do Forward Plus. Make sure we can get advanced 3D graphics. Large and complex scenes. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, see, Sketchfab is... I'm actually doing a video talking about free assets. Sketchfab is 10. Out of the top 10... Sketchfab is number 10, unfortunately, because it's genuinely, I don't want to do that. It's genuinely not, it's not the best place to get free assets. And the reason is because they just, why does it want me to do this? It's kind of belaying me. Xcode build, whatever. Okay. Okay, look, visual scripting does have its advantages, I will say. While I prefer C++, there are cases where you just need to throw together some functionality quickly, and for that you need either visual scripting or like a really quick-to-use language. Like C++ is not going to work for prototyping because it just takes so long to compile. But we're in Godot tonight, so we can prototype pretty quickly using Python/GDScript. And we're making a 3D game since apparently you guys hate 2D now, which I prefer making 3D games because it's more, fun. And we will call this scene. I don't know what we're going to call it. I don't know what the game is about yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a free assets site, and the first asset we see, we're going to make a game based on that. Hopefully I don't regret this because I am actually just coming up with this on the fly. What free asset site should we use? Oh, and it does have to be a 3D asset because we did say we're making a 3D game. No, I'm good. So the best places to get free 3D assets are, we obviously have Sketchfab, right? It's a fair one. I don't want to see any assets, so we'll quickly move on. Another good one is, let's see, I think I actually have a list of this stuff somewhere. But another good one is Kenny.nl. Again, I'll move on quickly so we don't see any assets and get like bound to one of these. So Kenny, well, okay, we'll temporarily remove the rules of the challenge and say we can look around just so I can show you guys these different sites. So Sketchfab, obviously they have really high quality 3D models. They tend to be more realistic type 3D models, but honestly you can find anything on here. Like if we search for lightsaber, because we love lightsaber, obviously check the downloadable, and then make sure that you only select CC 0 and free standard and whatnot. And now we also have to check free. Where's... Okay, wow. So maybe there's no free results here. Yeah, so Sketchfab, not great. Turbo Squid I think might be a little better. But it also still... Yeah, I think I like Turbo Squid a little better because it just price free, easy peasy. It still covers half the page with actually paid options, so you can only actually get the ones that are free. You can't get this because it's $29, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, this is actually probably the number 10 best place to get free assets. And look at here, at the top they even have like a nice little list. Some of these actually look pretty banger if we were making a game involving lightsabers. Kenny.nl is another cool one. They have very simple assets. If we click on 3D, they have kind of these low poly type of stuff, but they do have a lot, and they're a nice similar style, so it's easy to integrate them together. If you get like the City Kit and this City Kit Suburban, or maybe that's cheating. If you get like the Nature Kit and the Retro Urban Kit, like it's more easy to combine them because they all have the same art style. It's made by the same like artist team or whatever. So yeah, Turbo Squid, good. Kenny.nl, good. What else is there? Obviously the top one, guys, is, and you may not actually know about this, itch.io. Now I know what you guys are thinking. We're not looking to count. Yeah, Kenny is all free. Kenny is 100% free. Everything on here is free. They do sell tools, right, which they make some money from, and they also offer, you can download literally everything at once for some price, but everything they make is free. If you're navigating on this assets page, everything is free. No money anywhere. You don't even have to have an account or anything. It's literally just download it and you're happy and free. So I definitely recommend Kenny, also itch.io. So itch, if you go to browse and then select assets, there's 60,000 assets here. Of course, you have to filter by free if you're like me, and you don't want to pay any money. And then boom, we got 30,000 free assets on itch.io. That's why it's one of the best places, if not the best place, to get some actually really nice free assets. Let's try to find 3D assets though. Is there a filter for 3D? I can search, I think. 3D, perfect. Okay, here we go. And so in here we have obviously some 3D assets. We got 4,000 free 3D assets on itch.io. So that beats Kenny, that beats Turbo Squid. It beats everything. Yeah, no, so they have more 2D assets than 3D, but if you filter by 3D, you can see there's lots of stuff. Okay, what else? What else is there? I do have a list somewhere that I can look up if we absolutely have to. Let's see. Gotta scroll through like 1,000 Notion pages to find this probably. Oh, here's another one. I should have probably thought of this right off the bat, but I don't think we'll use it tonight. I mean, maybe we will. Mixamo.com. If you guys don't know, this is Adobe's like greatest achievement. They actually made something free, which is pretty incredible for Adobe. And this is absolutely free. You don't need to have any subscription or anything. I don't. And basically, there's all these animations and there's all these characters, but that's actually not the best part. The best part is you can upload any model if it's in like a T pose or an A pose. For example, I uploaded this rather crappy bear model, and they'll auto rig it for you, and boom, now you have your dancing bear wolf thing, whatever this is. So this is actually really cool. No, that's the whole point. You're not a rigging expert. This will do the rigging for you, and so then you don't have to rig, because I don't know how to rig models. Well, I know the theory of it, but I don't know actually how to do it in practice. So if you don't know how to rig models, boom, you open up Mixamo, you can throw your model in here. If it's in a T pose or an A pose, it should be able to figure it out and give you the animations. This model isn't very humanoid, so it didn't work the best. But there are better ways. Maybe we'll animate a model with this tonight. Yeah, actually, let's start with that. Let's start cooking with that. Let's find a 3D model on maybe itch.io, and then we'll animate it in Mixamo, just to show you guys how easy it is. So we needed characters. We need to filter by like 3D characters. Characters. Is it going to take away the 3D? Okay, yeah. So 3D characters. We need something humanoid, right? Because Mixamo really works on humanoid. It doesn't work so well on other stuff. The mathematical equation for it is, I think, the square root of 42, I believe. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for a 3D model that can be the main character for our game. What do you guys think about this weird guy? Okay, maybe not. That looks a little weird. What are we feeling? Lots of different 3D models. That's an interesting one. Use Kenny. I don't know if they have as much in the way of characters. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. These might be already rigged, in which case we wouldn't be able to, yes, obviously they'll offer you a donation option because that's how they make their money. Perfectly reasonable. Yeah, these guys already have animations, so it's kind of, we wouldn't get to use Kenny as much, but, this is an option. This is an option. Obviously, they also look kind of Robloxy, which I'm a little sus of, because, this Roblox kind of, little odd, but let's see what else they have. Do they have any other characters, or is it just that? A few more here. Again, same vibe. Here we have straight up Minecraft men. All right, so let's keep this in the back of our mind as kind of a backup option. If we need to, we can go with this. But odds are, if these models are already rigged, then it's a little bit harder for Mixamo to deal with them because it won't necessarily be able to handle the rig they already have. So we can see. Let's go ahead and throw this bad boy on here and see if the rig is compatible, if it can figure it out. Generally though, oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. All right, that was pretty clutch. Okay, so here we go. That was actually a great example. So you can see these characters are already rigged. If they weren't rigged, then a Mixamo could probably still rig them for you. But since this one is already rigged, it doesn't have the texture, but we can throw one of these textures on it if we want to. I'm not sure if we can actually do it in Mixamo. I think we'll have to do it afterward. But we should now be able to grab anything we want if we want our guy to be able to jump, which maybe they didn't include. Now we have him jumping. Easy peasy. And obviously there's lots and lots of options. Jumping down. Whee! This is reminding me of one of those like little mobile game guys that I feel like we see a lot. But there we go. Okay, so we have our character, and we should be able to use any of these Kenny skins on it, any of these textures, because I think it's the same model for all of them. So we can pick whichever one of those we want. Maybe we want like this. Let's see, which one was it? I'm partial to this cyborg one. I think looks maybe good. So yeah, let's lock that in. This man is going to be our main character. I don't think we can texture him while he's in Mixamo, but we can animate him. We can download any of these animations that we want. So a delicious that does sound pretty delicious, I have to say. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be the texture for our character. We have the model for it. Now we can add whatever animations we have on Mixamo. So now that we know we can add pretty much any animations, we should be open to a lot of different game ideas. But the next thing we need to do is we need to get an environment for our character. And since we use Kenny for the character, maybe we should go somewhere else for the environment, just so we can show some variety. So let's head back to Itch. We'll remove the character's flag and see if we can select like an environment's flag. Environment. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll just search it. Okay, we got a low poly tree. Ooh, hang on. This looks interesting. Let's open that up. Also, this stylized environment actually looks kind of hype as well. Ooh, and so does this one. Wow, they have some pretty enticing options today. I gotta say. Mystic Temple, maybe that too. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Okay, so this is an option, right? This is a pretty good set here. Yeah, no, this is low poly. This is a low poly environment. We got some. This one is a little bit less low poly vibes. Still very stylized, but a little bit less low poly, so it might not fit as well with our character. One of the things we have to keep in mind, our character looks like this, kind of a more low poly vibe, so maybe we cut the stylized and we stick with something a little bit more low poly. Let's see. This one is could be another good one, right? We have almost kind of medieval, at least kind of old-timey type of setup here. So cohesive means, I guess that was kind of a fancy word. I probably shouldn't have put that in there. But cohesive means like it fits together, right? So like a cohesive story, if, you know, a detective is questioning a person, then they want their story to be cohesive. They want their story to fit together. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's sus. If their story doesn't fit together, then they're probably the one that, you know, committed the crime. So cohesive just means fitting together, right? So if we were to like look at a popular game like Minecraft, everything fits together, right? Take a look at this. Obviously, their logo picture, everything fits. Everything's blocky, right? It's not like blocky terrain, and then we have a 4K ultra-realistic human right here. That would be a little weird. So basically, everything needs to be of the same vibe. So we can't have a 4K photorealistic human character and then have blocky terrain. Instead, we want to have everything be the same vibe. So for us, we've kind of chosen based on the character that we selected, which is this guy on the left right here. We've kind of selected a more low poly aspect. So that means that we need our environment to be low poly as well. So that's the main thing when choosing assets, is if you select an asset of a certain type, try to find other assets of that same type. So we've got one low poly asset, let's try to find more low poly assets. And we still haven't really decided on what the game's going to be about. Honestly, at this point, it might just be a guy walking around a cool environment that we design. But no, it's not like a Minecraft specific thing. I was just using that as an example. But we do have this kind of nice environment pack here. I'm kind of leaning toward this one. We could see if there's anything else that sticks out to us. But this looks pretty nice. I think it could be combined with these. I'm not 100% sure. Like the trees might not transfer over. But these buildings, I think they could work with this like more sandy landscape. I'm pretty sure the buildings should work with that. You failed law school? Yeah, maybe we'll have a vocabulary quiz. That could be nice. Cohesion is sticking together. It's like how much something sticks to another thing. So like it's like how much, yeah, something like sticks to itself as well. So like and sometimes it's used like between people, right? Like if two people work well together, you might say they have chemistry or they have good cohesion. I don't know. Maybe people don't say that. That sounds a little weird. But it just means, yeah, the idea of being cohesive is stuff being like the same, sticking together, working together, being good together. We can actually look up the definition if you guys want, just in case I'm not explaining it very well. Cohesive meaning: when the parts of the whole work well or fit together. So right, we need everything in the game to work together and fit well together, and that is our goal. And that's part of what separates a lot of indie games from looking like AA or AAA games, is because the AA or AAA games have money to just buy everything or custom make everything to look the same, right? But indie games have to get stuff from different places. So what you have to do as an indie game designer is you have to trick people into thinking that everything actually came from the same place. That sounds weird. Well, maybe you just don't have good enough teamwork. That's honestly what we're coming down to. Oh, and we can see that they actually linked some other packs here as well, so maybe some of these will work nicely together as well. I don't know. Got some different buildings, but I don't love those buildings. Let's try crops. Maybe we can get some plants in here. Maybe, but if our main, I'm kind of leaning towards this desert being our main environment. They all look the same like Unreal Engine. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the problems with Unreal Engine is it's very easy to make photorealistic stuff, so kind of a lot of people do. But you can definitely make stylized stuff in Unreal. And I definitely recommend it because there's kind of a lot of photorealistic stuff, so if you want to stand out, maybe make something different. Okay, I actually don't like any of these other options. So we've got buildings, right? I'm thinking we take the buildings from this, maybe some of the fences and stuff, right? So we can get some nice rustic homes, and we slap them into this kind of a landscape, right? So we've got it's Australia. It's really Australia. We got our outback desert place. We got some, I don't know if they have houses like this in Australia, but let's just say they do. We got some rustic homes. What else can we get to fit with our desert, our nice desert vibes? And it does need to be low poly. Let's see if we can add the low poly filter. Perfect. Low poly, free. We should have environments. Maybe we lost the environment tag. I don't know. Okay, desert assets. Those still look a little bit too high poly, so I don't want to go with that. No, there are low effort Unreal games, and it's easier to make a low effort Unreal game because there's just so many free assets, but I definitely don't. Ooh, hang on. Let me just be distracted for a second here. Can we fit spaceships into our game? Because I love spaceships. One of my dreams is to make an actual nice spaceship game. At some point, we will definitely do that. What is this? Is this free? What happened to free? Oh, it is free. Wait. Is it free? I'm so confused. Will these fit with our game is the question, or are they too complex? They actually might be too complex. Hang on. I'm seeing some pretty higher complexity. Like if we look at this, right? This is very, very simple. Like this rock right here, we could literally count the vertices that we can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 vertices on this little rock sticking up right here. Or this small one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can count the vertices and it's a super low number. So we're not really, I don't think these spaceships work because they're more of a blocky style rather than a low vertice, low poly style. So that doesn't work. Let's keep trying because I think we need a little bit more. We have the desert environment. We have, or let's start a little bit. I do think we're gonna need more, but we can get there in a minute. So with itch.io, you can donate, which I definitely recommend if you have money. But for me, I'm just gonna download it, and we'll download this one as well, and then we'll import them into Godot and see what we can see. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we've got 2 asset packs so far, plus our main character, which is right here. You don't like Australia? Well, I don't think you should rule out an entire country, island, giant place just because of one mean person. Maybe you should rule it out because of the spiders. That's a fair reason to rule it out. But yeah, by all means, if you have a funny story, by all means, hit us with it. I won't promise I'll read it if you send it in like a really long block, so I would definitely recommend splitting it up. Also, I think YouTube only lets you send like 1,000 characters or something, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, but we downloaded our assets, so we can actually delete this, and then this is going to be our character. This, I believe, is the first one that we downloaded. What is this? Which one is this? Free environment props 3, free environment with low poly. Okay, wait, low poly environment pack.rar was this one with the desert. Okay, so this is going to be the desert pack. Just make sure to organize stuff, guys, so it's a little bit easier. Desert pack.rar, and then this one is going to be the buildings. Okay, and then we need to unpack this RAR because macOS for some reason doesn't actually come with an installed app that can what is it called? Unarchiver. For some reason macOS doesn't come installed with software that can rip open the RAR, so we have to download a little something, and then we can run that something, and we can open up our RARs. The unarchiver. So if you're on Mac, pro tip, you can use the unarchiver to open up RARs. Except, boom, perfect. Nope, not interested in a survey. And there we go. So now we have our character, our buildings, our desert pack, and then what I like to do is sometimes for Godot projects, let's open up our Godot project, which we called Free Asset Game. And sometimes instead of just doing it in the editor, you can just throw the folders inside of Godot and it'll figure everything out for you. It should anyway. Okay, so we've downloaded some free assets. We'll need to download some more animations in a second here, but let's open up our Godot project if we closed it, which I think we did. Guys, funny, hilarious, like it's the same thing. FBX to GLTF is required. Okay, I guess we'll have to download that. Thankfully they have it for Mac, otherwise we would be done with Godot. Okay, and then we just need to throw this in, where do we throw this? I don't know, we'll just leave it in downloads for now, I'll figure it out later. Let's go to our downloads folder, downloads, and go ahead and select this. What are we looking for? This. Oh no. Error executing file. Okay, so we might have to do some shenanigans to try to get this thing to actually open. Because macOS does like to protect us. If we right click and run and click open, then we can actually override it. And of course there's nothing to do now because we don't need to run it. But once we've run it once by right clicking and opening it, then Godot should be allowed to run it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Just a little hack for you. Double clicking something isn't as powerful as the old right click open, on macOS at least. Okay, so we ran the FBX importer, hopefully, for everything, I think. And we should be able to use our FBX files now. So let's create a 3D scene, and we'll call this our desert. Of course, we're going to need a folder to save it in. I'll call this scenes. And this will be desert.tscene. Sure. Perfect. Okay, so we have our scene. Let's try to import something, anything. I'd like something big to kind of define the level a little bit better. So let's go into the desert pack, and oh, there's a whole thing called environment 1. That sounds kind of hype. Okay, here we go. We have a whole low poly thing here. And since it's an FBX and we have to import it to a GLTF, we have to do like some stuff. So we can mess around with these settings because obviously the lighting is incorrect. So I kind of want to fix it. I'm not sure if we can though. We might have to fix it later on with custom materials. Yeah, we'll have to fix it later on. But there we go. We imported it. And now we should be able to throw it in the scene somehow. Yeah, here we go. Okay, perfect. This is our landscape. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. This mic is really in my way. See if I can lower it down a little bit. Hopefully that still sounds okay. Testing. Yeah, that sounds fine, I think. Gonna have to guess just based on the little meter that they give me, but I think it looked like it was like maybe decent. I try not to touch it too much because I know it probably makes like an annoying sound. Okay, so this is our very basic landscape that we created. Call this a landscape. And then let's throw some stuff on it. Looks like these are mountains. That's pretty nice. The materials for all of these are still off. I guess because it was an FBX. And then we imported it to GLTF. So the lighting it's very shiny, which it definitely shouldn't be. So once we position a couple of these in here, I think they're all the same material. So we should, well, that's an interesting one. We should be able to actually kind of get some modification in here. Let's go ahead and maybe duplicate one of these mountains, rotate it out a little bit. So basically, hopefully, I'm thinking this is kind of big. I don't know, but I think this is kind of big, and if it is, then we should just be able to have these mountains kind of be like our background mountain type stuff that just lets the player know, hey, you can't, this world doesn't just go off into the forever beyond whatever, because that's always a little weird feeling. Okay, let's see, which one is the OG mountain? Here we go. Duplicate that one. Get another one over here. I feel like my scrolling is backwards in Godot for some reason, but oh well. Maybe I'm just used to doing 2D in Godot. I haven't done that much 3D in Godot yet. Alright, so we have... Alright, we've got our background mountains. Actually, do we? Yeah, we got our background mountains pretty good. Let's just mess around with the scale a little bit, just so they don't all look identical. Okay, that looks a little weird. Let's actually make it a little shorter. And then maybe a little wider because it doesn't quite meet. There we go. Just make it a little wider. All right, so we got our background mountains. Let's see how it looks from like a little bit of a lower viewpoint. Here we go. Okay, the scrolling is definitely backwards. I'm gonna have to fix this. If your scrolling is backwards, I think probably not project settings, probably like Godot preferences. Let's just try hitting Command comma. That's usually the shortcut for preferences. There we go. Okay, we need to find some way control stuff. 3D. We need like an input. We need to change like the input because I'm pretty sure my scrolling is like backwards when I'm trying to like look around the scene. It feels all backwards. Can we change input? Maybe shortcuts. Mouse. No. How can we fix the mouse so we can actually look around the scene like normally? Like, I mean, you guys can't see it, but like it's like the looking around is like backwards. Right? It's like backwards. It feels very backwards. These seem to be the right settings. Hang on. Invert X, invert Y, both. I think it's backwards on both. Let me try it. Excellent, excellent. That feels much better. Actually, while I'm at it though, why don't I turn up the sensitivity a little bit because it feels very slow. Feels slow. Actually, not the sensitivity. The move. No, the move speed's okay. Just the sensitivity needs to go up a little. Probably just because I'm on trackpad. This is why all this is messed up. Let's see. Sensitivity. Navigation field. Orbit sensitivity. Double it. Double it. Double it. I'm a gamer. Double it. All right, so now, okay, this mountain is not low enough down because obviously we can still see it. Let's move it down, make sure all these are merged. Okay, so here we are in the middle of our little hole in the mountain range, and this is where our story starts, assuming that we have a story. This is where all of our assets will come together to create something beautiful. Let's go ahead and we might have to scale this whole thing up depending. Also, I'm noticing we have a couple assets called terrain_1 and terrain_2. Let's go ahead and throw those in and see if we have any interesting terrain. No, stop. Well, this is, oh, it's above me. Okay. Yeah, I don't love this. I'm just gonna delete that. That doesn't look very good. Let's try terrain 2 just in case. It's green, so we don't like that. All right, let me just put all the mountains under the landscape and package that up. A handy little thing I learned you can do in Godot, because obviously I'm new to Godot, is if you press this little button here with the two squares and whatnot, it groups it. So now I can't select the individual mountains and accidentally drag them to who knows where. I can only select the entire landscape as a whole. So you can see it made this little group thing right here. And obviously I could undo that and then I could select the individual mountains. But I want it to be grouped so it's easier so I don't accidentally move just one mountain. And I don't know why you hate gamers, because gamers are the best. I mean, gamers turned game developers. Gamers who are also game developers are the best. Obviously, I'm unbiased here. Let's try to place in our buildings first, because if we place in our plants and stuff, they don't matter as much. So we can kind of place in our buildings, maybe some roads, and trying to get some interesting. Let's just leave. Well, the color isn't right. I feel like all of the materials are pretty off. As far as Godot's importing has gone so far. Yeah, re-imported, it's fine. Yeah, all of the materials are off so far in Godot, but we'll have to see what we can do. Do we have any houses? What happened to the houses? There were definitely houses. Where are my houses? Let's go back to our asset page where we download this from and make sure they didn't scam us. I mean, we didn't pay any money, so they didn't scam us, but yeah, look, house. Where's my house? Where's the house? House. Oh, but maybe this is just the roads? Maybe they actually did scam us. Wait, let's go to, what was it, Medieval Farm? Yeah, maybe the houses are here, and that was just the other stuff. Oh, they actually scammed us good. They scammed us good, because now if we want to download this, we'd have to pay for it, which obviously we're never going to do, because we do not pay for stuff. And guys, again, I do think you should pay for stuff and support these devs. If you can, just clarify that. Okay, we already have this, so we don't need that. What we need is some houses. We need some nice rustic houses. Let's search for house. Let's search for house. House. Household items. We have some higher tech buildings, brick houses, an abandoned house, but it's not quite the right low poly style. We need to find a house that fits with our aesthetic. That one could maybe work, but I just don't think so. I don't think it quite works. Okay. We're gonna have to pivot. Yeah, we may have to pivot. I just want to open up this one because it just looks interesting. What is this? We got like these more medieval houses, but I don't think we can make that work with our aesthetic. I don't know. Maybe we could actually. Maybe we could. They just don't seem like the kind of houses you'd find in the desert. We could go back to the forest idea. We also have a forest, right? So as far as making so we don't technically have any specifications. We also have just a bunch of random doors and stuff here, so that's an idea. What else? Think. I'm still down to go for a sci-fi thing, so if we remove house and we throw in like ship, spaceship. No, not relationship. No. We were just talking about gamers. Why does it keep auto-correcting me? Stop auto-correcting me. Here we go. We have some sci-fi ships, which is more what we're looking for. Ooh, and somehow, even though we weren't looking for buildings, we actually somehow found buildings. Or a boat. And buildings. We have a boat and buildings. Boats and buildings. Combination. Looking at the thumbnail looks like we would find the stuff that we're looking for, but the actual assets don't quite look like we're gonna have what we're looking for. I don't know. Yeah, this isn't quite what we're looking for. I think the thumbnail was a little bit clickbait. I can't call them out very well because, I make YouTube videos and clickbait and blah, blah, blah. But, we have some other ideas here as well. We could put some sci-fi ships in the sky, which could add a nice sci-fi vibe. These, I think, might be low poly enough to work with our style. Yeah, I think these could work. I think these ships could work. Let's do that. And then, no, this is probably too high poly, I think.
In this,
let's take a look.
Color to each.
What are we looking at here? Is this video about someone making it in Blender? It seems a bit short for that. Yeah, this is too high poly, though. Okay, so these ships we can definitely use. This one, can we get away with this? Because obviously it's a bit, it's a little bit higher poly than the other ones, so I'm not sure if we can get away with it. But, actually, let's just take the Starship idea and kind of run with it. I feel like this could add some cool stuff. Here's what I'm kind of thinking, because we already have a player character as well. So I'm kind of thinking we just have some ships flying around in the sky for no apparent reason, and yeah, we just do that. Let's see. Let's open up our downloads folder. Go ahead and throw the fighter into our Godot project. Have an import. Let's see if we can throw something in the scene. Fighter 1.fbx. I also don't know if Godot will play nicer with the OBJs. I'm not sure which it prefers, but we may be better off with an OBJ. I'm not sure. If we do go with the OBJ, with either of these, we need to somehow figure out how to actually add textures to it, because we don't seem to be having any textures going on here. How can we add textures? Let's try the old drag and drop trick. Drag and drop trick not quite working. Okay, how do we... Alright, so we got a mesh, surface 0, But the Surface Zero won't let us assign a material. Interesting. Let's try actually opening it. Opening. Oh, we can't open it. We can't open the FBX though. And if we open the FBX, then maybe on one of these we can figure out how to add a material. Use external. There we go. And then we go into fighter. That didn't work. Saved file. No. Physics. No. How do we put a material on here? That's the question. I'm not finding it. Let's see. What other formats do we have? Yeah, just FBX and .obj. So, yeah, Godot doesn't... That's one of the things about Godot. They like their very lightweight stuff. And so in this case, that leads to them only really supporting GLTFs, which is like a web 3D model format. That's the one that they mainly support, which makes it a little bit harder to work with any other formats. Let's see. So I think we need to make a material, like a .tres material. Let's see, create resource. What is it called? A shader material. And let's call this test starship.tres. Save that. And go ahead and open it up. Okay, and then the shader, new shader, obviously. Create that. Well, should it be a new shader? Yeah, I think it should be a new shader. And then, how do we? Okay, let's try a quick Google before we go any further. Let's see, Godot, apply image texture to FBX. Textures and materials not showing on imported 3D model. Exactly. May not have found that. Just open the .material resources in Godot and fill in the missing textures. Okay, this guy suggests an interesting option. Import it into Blender, export as a GLTF, and then import it into Godot, because obviously Godot likes its GLTFs. So we may have to do that, unless in fighter1.fbm, well, fighter1.fbm already has an image in there. So yeah, we may have to just kind of go without a workaround. If we just delete this, and then put it back. Give me my fighter back. Okay, it doesn't want to. Delete that. Let's go ahead and re-download our fighter assets pack, and then this time we're gonna run them through Blender first. So Blender. Taking a second to boot up. We now have three semi-intense softwares running: streaming software, Blender, and Godot. I think that's hopefully that's all. Yeah. Wait, do we have 2 instances of Godot running? Yeah, we have 2 instances of Godot, so let's go ahead and make sure we remove the other one. Do not save, because I think it was another instance of the same scene. Somehow we managed to make happen. Gotta try the old command option escape. Hopefully we force quit the right one. Nice, we did. Okay, so we got our other instance of Godot taken care of. Eliminated. Okay, so in Blender, wipe everything out. We don't need to save this. File, import FBX. Go ahead and grab from our downloads fighter1.fbx. import it, and then let's see if it actually has the right textures. Of course, we'll need to change the rendering mode in the top right to actually render textures, and then if it does have the right texture, which it does not. So let's see. Yeah, we need to make sure we're actually applying the texture, which we're not currently. The other thing we can try to do is import the OBJ version, which we also have. What did we do? I genuinely have never done this in Blender before. I don't know what happened, but we've lost all of our UI. Let's start again, and this time we're gonna try to import the OBJ version and see if maybe the OBJ version will import with its actual correct textures, because that would be a lifesaver. Import .obj. No, once again, it's in our downloads. Of course, we have fighter1.obj. Perfect. Okay, it doesn't seem to be giving us the texture either, so we may have to do this ourselves. Let's go ahead and check out the shading workspace. Zoom in a little bit, get a little pan to make sure we are in pretty tight. And then we're just gonna have to try to manually add whichever texture we want ourselves. So let's go ahead and I think if we can just drag and drop this, so if we go ahead and just open up the file browser and then grab our texture, so let's say we want this one, we can just throw it in, make it the base color, and then boom, we have our texture. Okay, that was pretty easy. So yeah, and then we can experiment with different textures just by grabbing these other textures and throwing them in here. That looks promising. That one looks kind of cool. There we go. Let's try it between those three. Hopefully one of them will work out. Okay, not bad, not bad. Kind of we've got the original one, which is kind of gray, silver, and red. Looks kind of fancy. We got the black one, looks kind of stealth, and then we got the gray one, which looks kind of like just a classic spaceship. Let's go ahead and go with the gray one because I kind of like that. And then we could just go File, Export, GLTF, because that's what Godot likes for whatever reason. I don't really like the GLB, GLTF type of thing, but there you go. You got to do what you got to do. We'll call this spaceship1.glb because we might export more of these later if we wanted to have multiple spaceships. And then let's go ahead and try to import this again. So we got spaceship1.glb. Hopefully it included everything, textures and everything. And if it did, then we will be in good shape. Oh, nice. Nice. We got Spaceship 1 successfully imported. I don't know why I can't click on it, but here it is, Spaceship 1. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Actually looks pretty okay for our low poly environment. Okay, so we got a spaceship. And for now, let's go ahead and add, maybe we can add like a player controller to this. I could see that being nice, and then just try to fly around our scene a little bit more. Be like a Beggar's Canyon type of situation, I don't know. We'll call this player ship. And then we need to add ourselves a script. New script, we'll call this ship controller. Godot generally uses like this kind of snake case convention where everything is lowercase and we have underscores in between words to separate. So we'll use that convention just to make things easier. And then let's, we need to add some input, of course. So let's go to project settings. We should be able to do that. What else? Input. Where's our input? Input device. Oh, input map. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So let's add a new action. We'll call this turning. And then we can add some bindings to this. So for example, D is going to be the positive of this. And then, well, do we have to, how do we add like a more of an axis type of situation? Let me see. A, we add both D and A. That doesn't help. So we need to have D be the, or A be the positive, like turning right, and D be the negative, like turning left. So we may have to, let's see. We need more of like a, more of like an axis type of situation. I wonder what happens if we, let's go ahead and call this turn. If we select like a mouse, an axis, yeah, exactly. See, we have axes here. How do they set up an axis? That's what I want to know. Okay, it's not really clear. So let's go ahead and Google this, of course, as everyone does. And our Google so far have been pretty successful. So let's see. Godot, axis, input, A, and well, let's just go ahead for the full WASD and try to find out. Okay, looks like we have to set them up as separate actions, which is a little unfortunate. We can also close our Blender session now, just so we don't have performance issues from that. But okay, let's go ahead and make a turn, and again we'll use our snake case, I guess. Turn right, which is going to be D, and then we're gonna have our turn left, which is going to be A, and that'll be what we'll start off with. So I'm thinking the spaceship is already going forward, and so then we'll just use A and D to turn, and then maybe we'll use W and S to like adjust speed later on, or to go like tilting up and down probably. Okay, so in the process function, we should probably actually define some variables, so we can of course use @export to make them visible in the inspector, and then we'll have a variable speed, which we'll go ahead and say is of type float, and we'll set it to 10 for now, because why not? And then we can say, let's see, position plus equals vector 2. I'm not sure which axis we actually want to, this would be a vector 3 as well, since we're in 3 dimensions. I'm not sure which axis we want to increase, so let's go back into 3D. We want to increase the x-axis, I think red is x, negatively though. So we want to decrease the x-axis to go forward. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is just figure out how to go forward. So x, I believe this is going to be -1, 0, 0. So we're decreasing the x-axis to go forward. And then, of course, we want to multiply this times the speed and also times the delta. So delta is the time since the last frame. So if this is called 60 times per second, then after 1 second, all of the deltas would add up to 1 second. After 60 frames, all of the deltas would add up to 1 second, right? So then we would get the exact same amount as if this is 30 frames per second. After 1 second, all the deltas add up. So we multiply it by delta to make sure that the frame rate doesn't change anything. You missed a lot. You were gone for a while. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because it took us a while to figure out the importing situation with the GLBs and whatnot. We now have a ship in the game, and we've decided to make the ship be our player character, and so we're working on adding a controller so we can fly the ship around. And currently we've defined a speed variable, and then we're going to try to go ahead and modify the position to actually get the ship moving forward. That's all. Well, so here's the thing. Since I went ahead and made the decision now, there's already only like an average of 2 people on the stream, and you are basically always one of them, so I definitely very much appreciate that. But it's better to do it now and then grow more. And part of the reason I think there were so few people on the stream last time is because it was kind of an electronics channel. And then if electronics people came, they'd be like, oh, this is a game dev, I don't care about this. Some people like both, so that's great. But this channel, everyone who comes is interested in game dev, so everyone who comes, if they join the stream, then they will potentially find value in the stream. So this way it should be all game dev people, and then I'm helping them out with the stream as well as with the content, and hopefully everyone will just be happy. Yeah, it's better to do it now. Like if I had 1,000 people on stream in the other one, then it would be very sad to move over. So better to do it while I only have like a couple. Tank to hit. Okay, so we need to add a camera because we don't actually have a camera, so that's kind of important. And for now, we'll just attach it to the player ship. Let's preview this so we can actually get a decent look, because that is not what we want. Looks like it's rotated wrong. If we like rotate it maybe like 90 degrees around this, make that 90, and then we pull it back up. Let's see. Now if we preview it, okay, so it's a little better. Let's see. The 90 there is fine, but if we decrease it on the X a little, we look at our ship a little more, and we can get, yeah, that looks okay for now. I mean, it looks terrible, but it'll have to do for now, just so we can see what's going on. Okay, and we are actually flying forward, so that's actually pretty good. Pretty good. We've done some good work. I am noticing we don't actually have an environment or any lighting, which is why everything looks so bad. So let's throw in a directional light. That already just makes everything look like literally so much better. Like you guys saw what it was like just before this. It already looks way better now. Now that we actually have lighting. So that's good. I know, but the houses fell through, and so then we were stuck with just the ships. They tend not to work in Godot. Well, guess what? We're going to make them work today, right here, right now. Let's go ahead and... So position is already doing this. But we also need to adjust the rotation, so we need to rotate a little bit. We probably need another variable, export variable rotation speed, another float, set this to 1. I don't really know what these variables are going to end up being. I think this one was a little too high as well, so we may want to play around with that. I think we're a little bit too fast of a spaceship, because we instantly pretty much complete getting outside of that level. So let's maybe tone ourselves down to like a 3-speed spaceship. You just got an achievement for stealing 100 million gold. That does not sound good. What are you trying to pull here? No, you're not stealing gold from me. No, sir. Okay, our ship is now reasonable speed. Let's get the rotation working. Let's just see. Rotation degrees, of course, because otherwise it's in regular rotation is in radians, and that's terrible. And then once again, I think we're rotating on maybe the y-axis this time. So let's say 0, 1, 0, and then multiply it by rotation speed times delta time. Well, that's not quite going to work. So remember our inputs, for our inputs, what we went ahead and did was you have to have 2. So turn right and turn left. So let's create a input rotation variable. Variable input rotation, and that's going to equal how did they do it on the Google? Input.get action strength. Input.get action strength. Turn left. And then let's see. Turn left. Left is negative, so let's actually make it turn right minus input.get action. This is supposed to be a capital input. Input.get action strength turn left, right? So turning left is when we press A, and so that's going to rotate us negatively. Turning right is going to rotate us positively. So if we have A and D pressed, it's going to be straight. If we have neither pressed, obviously it's also going to be straight, 0. But if we have just right pressed, then it'll be like 1, and so we'll turn, to the right. That might be backwards for you guys, because you guys are looking at the camera of me and not, I'm looking at me going forward. So you get the idea. And let's multiply this by input rotation. Let's just call it input rot. Rename it right here. Okay, so we get the input rotation from our inputs, and then we multiply that by this vector to say which axis we're rotating on, which is the y-axis, and then we also multiply it by the rotation speed and delta, and let's see if that actually works. And it currently does absolutely nothing. So if we click on our ship, then maybe we can see in the inspector if the transform values are actually changing at all. They are not. Okay, so we are having a situation where our rotation doesn't the rotation not rotating. And in tough situations such as these, of course, the solution is always to print out more stuff. So let's print out the input rotation and see if we're actually getting anything. We are. In fact, it is shifting between the two just as we would expect. So let's go ahead and print out input rotation. Actually, rotation degrees is a float. No, it's a vector. Okay, wait. Okay, the angles, Okay, let's just go ahead and manually select this. Let's say rotation degrees dot y equals, or times equals, plus equals input rotation times rotation speed plus times delta. Didn't quite work. We're getting a pop-up here. I don't know, but it always gets covered. And then it just goes away. Kind of sad. We'll never know what the pop-up says, but rotation, let's just go ahead and set it just for a second to rotation degrees dot y plus equals that. Okay, there we go. All right, first of all, this is backwards, so let's go ahead and switch these two, because we were turning backwards, we were turning left when we should have been turning right, and right when we should have been turning left. So let's invert that. And now, boom. We can also see that even though the rotation is rotating, we're not moving forward, right? Once we rotate backwards, we're just still going in the same direction globally, the same global direction, instead of the forward-facing direction. So obviously we're going to need to fix that. But for now, we need to actually change this to being multiplied by the rotation speed and the delta. Again, delta makes it frame rate independent. And rotation speed, of course, allows us to do this variable. So let's go ahead and set this to like 100 or something, because I think the rotation before was just, super low. So now we're getting some pretty decent rotation, but of course it feels and looks presumably very weird because we're always moving in a certain direction regardless of how we're rotated. So we actually need to multiply this by the rotation, and then I think we should go in the facing direction, whatever direction we're facing. Okay, doesn't quite seem to be working. Maybe rotation degrees will help us. No? Okay, how do we, let's see. The question is, how can we detect which way we are facing? Because we want to move forward. So, of course, let's hit a nice Google. Godot move object in facing direction. Rotation. How to make my player move in the facing direction. Perfect. Transform.x times speed times delta. Okay, so the transform.x will hopefully be changed with the when the rotation is rotated. Couldn't find property. Interesting. Transform.x. Okay, that's 2D, so that probably doesn't help. It may need to be transform.position.x. That also did not work. Let's see what variables transform has. What is transform? Let's go ahead and just. I cannot type. Go ahead and click on it. Okay, transform is obviously a transform 3D. Okay, what helpful functions do we have in here that can maybe help us? Origin. Do we have anything to help us with the direction we're facing? Looking at. Hang on. Nope, that doesn't help. Translated local. No. Huh. Well, that's not very helpful. Let's try again. See if we have anything else. We can do on a vector. We can do the dot rotated. let's again turn this back into vector 3, 1, let's see, what was it, -1, 0, 0. And then this whole thing is going to be a vector, so we can say that vector needs to be rotated by whatever our rotation is. And I'm not sure if that should be in degrees, but we'll put it in degrees for now. Okay, vector 3 expected 2 arguments. Interesting. Let's go ahead and look at the documentation. You can just command click on something and it'll give you the documentation. Very nice. I like that a lot. Oh, of course we need to specify the axis. How do we specify the axis? Axis vector 3. Okay, so we pass in a vector 3, so if we want to rotate it on the y-axis, then we would say vector 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. And that would say, hey, rotate on the y-axis, and then we'll pass in the y rotation, which is what we're modifying here, and that should hopefully allow us to move forward. It's not quite working the way we'd like it to. What if we made a separate, maybe a separate rotation variable? No, because we need the, interesting. So, just running this without doing any rotation. The old way we were doing it, remove the dot rotated part. This results in us going always in a global, in the same direction always, regardless of rotation. But this doesn't quite work correctly. Now we're going that way, now we're going that way. Maybe the problem is that it's rotation degrees and it's actually just expecting a rotation. Let's try it without the degrees. Nice. Okay, that was it. That was it. Now we're moving forward. So the issue is, again, Godot's default rotation is in radians, and so I guess this function expected it in the default radians, and we're trying to give it in degrees, which meant that it's just going to go completely bonkers. So we have our rotation using A and D, so then let's add W and S to actually tilt the spaceship up and down, which should be pretty straightforward. So we don't have, let's see, we don't actually have W and S implemented in our project settings yet, so let's go ahead and add turn up, which of course is going to be W, okay, and then turn down, which of course is going to be S. Okay, so let's make this horizontal rotation, which we already have set up. And then let's go ahead and make a vertical rotation, which is going to be turn up minus turn down. There we go. And then rotation degrees.y is, of course, going to use the horizontal rotation. But for rotation, then we'll do the vertical bit, which would be rotation degrees, I think, .x, and of course with vertical rotation. And hopefully that's the right rotation. Let's see. It is not. That's more of a barrel roll type of situation, which we do not want. So instead of .x, it should be .z, and that should get us tilting up and down. Yes, and it is inverted, which some games like, where W makes you kind of tilt down like this, and S makes you tilt up like that. So depending on what we want, we may do that, but also we're still only moving based on the Y rotation. So we're going to need to do another dot rotated call on this and say, hey, go ahead and rotate it on the Z axis based on rotation.z. I don't know if there's a way to do all of that at once, instead of just using 2 single axis functions. But hey, now we're moving forward nicely. And yeah, I'm gonna invert. Okay, never mind. We're not. Hang on. I don't think we're moving quite right. Okay, so if we just tilt horizontally, we do seem to be flying nicely, but if we tilt up a little bit, we're actually not going up. Don't seem to be going up at all. Where's my... Yeah, hang on. We still... Well, we have changed in height, though. Did we go down? I think we went down. I think it's just inverted. So difficult. Actually, wait. Oh, there's something wonky. Hang on. See, when we're going this way, we're going up the way we should be since we're tilted up. But when we're going this way, we're going down. So we definitely need to find a way to apply the rotation of the entire rotator all at once. Yes, do we have a question? Because currently applying one axis and then the other is causing us some issues, I think. Yeah, I heard that you got an achievement for stealing 100 million gold. I'm still a bit concerned about that. I have to say. Oh, it said in Radiance right here, so I really should have noticed that the first time. Also, the name of the channel is just Dan, so you can say just Dan, since I know that you guys can't spell, so you can just say Dan, and then you don't have to worry about misspelling it, which happens kind of a lot, I have to say. Went through 20 different bases and couldn't find a good base. I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds like Minecraft stuff. How to do movement based on rotation. Okay, let's see if this is actually finally going to be something in 3D. It is not. Let's add the word 3D. Let's see if that'll help us. 3D, move player to direction of rotation. Perfect. Multiplying with bigger numbers. Okay. Get rotation.y. Well, we know how to do it with just one dimension. We need to do it with all of the dimensions. What should I do to increase my chances of finding a base with a lot of loot to steal? It's transform.basis. Okay, wait. Transform.basis. Basis is a matrix containing the vector 3 as its columns. These vectors can be interpreted. You don't need complex trigonometry. Well, this looks pretty complex. Hang on, wait. So it's a matrix containing 3 vector 3s as its columns. These vectors can be interpreted as basis vectors of a local coordinate system traveling. Oh, okay, nice. Wait, so then how do we use this? Let's see. Just set velocity to transform.basis.z. Back to here. Position plus equals transform.basis times speed. Transform.basis.zu, you're saying? Seems pretty sus. Times delta, of course. Okay, but I believe you were right, because we are now always moving to the right. Well, we can't test the rotation of that quite right, but... Okay, wait, I'm curious. .y, okay, and then we just set this to .x and it'll actually work going forward. I think Glorzoid just saved us. It needs to be negative, but I do believe it is working brilliantly. We're now always backing away. Yeah, I have it on X, don't worry. Excellent. Okay, so we just make this negative and then boom. I think Glorzoid actually clutched it up for us. Pretty good work. Transform.basis.x for the win. We just go and tilt up. We can fly however we want, and the fact that the vertical thing is inverted is kind of annoying, but I think when it's like a controller, you can have it inverted, but when it's W and S, it just feels weird to have it inverted. So let's just say negative vertical rotation and have it not be inverted. There we go. W is to go up, And here we go. Now, obviously, it feels very static because the camera is locked to the ship. Good work, Glorzoid, by the way, on clutching this up for us. But we have our spaceship movement a little bit implemented. So what we really need is just for the camera to lag behind a little bit to make it feel a little bit smoother and nicer, instead of the camera just being always locked. So we should probably take the camera out and then have it try to track the ship, but not be constantly permanently on it. And I also think if we make a node 3D and then just have this be kind of the offset. Let's see, camera offset. Then basically what we can do is we can put the camera, where's my camera, inside of this. Wait, not yet. We set the camera to be the player ship's position. So it's just like that. No, not the camera 3D, dang it. Okay, we want the camera 3D to not be the player ship's position, but we want the camera offset to be the player ship's position, which it is. So then we put the camera 3D in the camera offset, and now, behold, that should help us. Does that help us? I think so. Now, the camera offset, we add a script to it, and then that way, when that script kind of follows the player, we'll call this camera follow.gd. When this script follows the player, the offset will remain intact is the idea, since the camera's already offset by being a child of the script. So, let's see. Okay, so in process, obviously the easiest thing we can do, we need a reference to the player, of course, at export variable player. Well, let's make it a little more general and call it target. This is, of course, going to be a node 3D. Position equals target.position. So now this is just as if we had parented the player to this. So if we go and set this to be the player ship, now we should just be the same as we were, except without rotation now. And so then what we want to do is, instead of setting it to the position, we want to make the position the goal and actually have us be able to lag a little bit behind. So we're going to say export variable speed. It's of course going to be a float, and we'll just set it to 1 because I don't know what it should be. And then we can basically just say if position is less than target.position. Oh, it's not really going to work. There should be a function called like translate or something. Okay, so a little bit of math here, guys. To get a vector pointing from us to the target, what do? Well, we do target, yeah, we're going to lerp it a little bit. Target.position minus position. Okay, so this is a vector that points to the target, pointing to target. Okay, because if you think about this, let's say the target is out here. Can you guys see that? Is that on the screen? Let's say the target is here, and we're here, and imagine the origin is down here in this little corner of the screen right here, right? So if we subtract our position, which is this lower guy here, from this position, then we get directions from our position to this position, right? So we subtract, we do that little subtraction, and then this is a vector pointing to the target. So then what we want to do is we want to say position plus equals pointing to target times speed times delta, right? So we're going to move towards the target based on the time, of course, to make it not locked to frames, and based on our speed. And let's see how this works. Okay, so we're very, very slow. So let's increase our speed a little bit, and thankfully we made it a handy little variable. Let's try 30. I don't know if that's too much. Obviously, if we set it to too much, then we'll basically just be like snapping like that, which looks very bad. So let's set it a little bit lower, maybe 10. 10. Can I get a 10, please? Okay, it's still a little bit too fast because we're not really feeling it very much. So let's try 5. Okay, it's still a little bit too slow now because it's just taking us too long to actually catch up. So let's try 7. Okay, it doesn't feel nice. I think I did something wrong. We also need the rotation to lerp as well, so we need to do that. But let's get the positioning correct first. Actually, as far as the rotation goes, I think the camera needs to have a separate script, or maybe this script does it, but with the camera, right? So let's say variable camera equals get child 0. I think the camera should just always be pointing at the player. So even when we lag a little bit behind, the camera is still pointing to the player. So if the player goes up and we're lagging behind, the camera rotates up a little bit more to compensate. So let's just go ahead and do that. We basically just need the camera.rotation to point at the... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll do the rotation, then we'll see what's wrong with, if there's anything wrong with the positioning. So camera.rotation equals, we can maybe use this pointing to target thing. Let's see if this is, I think this is a function. Oh, no, that's that. Wait, how do we, camera.rotation dot, what, how do we make this point to the target? Yeah, I think we should add the rotation because I think it'll help. So we have obviously a vector pointing to the target, but we need to rotate the camera based on the camera's point. Like from where the camera is, because remember the camera is offset from this. So the camera needs to point itself at the target. Let's see. Godot make object face toward another. Let's try that. Rotate object to face another. Perfect. Well, they're doing it with velocity, but that didn't work for them. Let's see. Do self.lookAt. Here we go. We have a .lookAt function. So we can use camera.lookAt, and then hopefully this works. Camera offset .rotation equals ship.rotation. Well, the thing is, it can't equal it can't just equal that rotation, because then here, we'll set our rotation to equal the target rotation, and I'll show you. Right now, it's the same thing as with the position, where it just looks a little bit. Wait, actually, it doesn't though. Hang on. Is this right? I don't know. I felt like it was gonna look a bit stiff, but it actually doesn't seem to look that stiff. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good actually. Yeah, that actually ends up looking pretty good. We may have been overcomplicating things. We just set this to the rotation, and then it just gets a little bit off because of the movement. We can maybe even set the speed a little bit lower. Let's try 6. Because the lower we set it, the more the ship can kind of get away from us, which helps us kind of feel the speed. Yeah, okay. I think I like it. And then the only thing is the rotation looks a little bit weird because we can see it tilting up when it's going up, but when we're going down, it doesn't quite tilt down. And I think the reason for that is because we are just a little bit the offset isn't quite right. So I don't know why I clicked on 2D, but if we go into 3D, we can adjust the camera just a little bit down and then a little bit less rotation, of course. There we go. I think that'll look a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Now, because I want it to just be so that when it tilts down, we can actually see it going down. Because I want it to look like it's actually moving the way it should be. Okay, I like it. We can actually tighten in the position a little too, because I feel like we're a little far away from it. So let's just manually, with the camera, just actually manually move it. And one more time, now that we've just got some, well, it's still a little bit too low. Let me just make it a little bit higher. Just a little bit of fine tuning. A little bit more higher. I just think the ship should be at the bottom. Why is the ship still not at the bottom? Hang on. I feel like something's off here. Something off? No, it's not. Okay, that looks good. We just have to move it down a lot so we can actually see everything that's going on. But I think that looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. We got some ship movement. Obviously, we don't have collision or anything implemented, but you can kind of see the ship tilting whichever way it's supposed to be going, which is kind of nice. Maybe we should even increase that. I don't know. Make it like kind of cheese it a little bit so that it's actually rotating a little bit more. Can we do that? No, we probably would have to do some fancy stuff. I think it's okay. I think it looks pretty good. So the next step would be to add some collision so that the ship actually like blows up when it hits stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we need it to actually like blow up when it hits stuff. So I think we probably just want to make like a simple collider, right? So if we just make a simple object. Here we go. We're gonna need to make this a child of like a rigid body. So let's go rigid body 3D. Oh, but rigid bodies don't like teleportation, so maybe not. Let's do an area 3D. And then for the area 3D, we need a collision shape 3D. And then we'll just make a simple shape. Actually, maybe we should do collision polygon 3D. Hang on. I haven't used a collision polygon, so I don't know if this is gonna work, but we can try it. I don't know how you create one of these bad boys. You can click to add some points. How do you? Okay, hang on. Let's scan this, and let's try to start one. I don't. Oh, we have to be on selection mode, I think, and then we can place the points. No, how do we, hang on, how do we create this collision polygon 3D? I have no idea. I've never used one of these before, but we should. Let's see what these are called. Edit, and then this seems like a place for placing new points, so we could actually get some shapes going. But I don't know. Maybe we should have one in manually. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hang on, we have our line now. Okay, that is not where we want it, but let's just ignore that one and try to fix. Oh no, this is gonna be harder than I thought. How does it position it? Like, does it like raycast it, or? This is weird. Okay, so we can move this. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Let's just go with the simpler shape. Collision shape 3D, then we can just get like a nice box. Yeah, a nice box, and then we'll just make our box roughly accurate. Is that the box? Okay, that's a huge box. But our ship's not too crazy of a shape, so I think we can get away with a box. That's a very, very thin box. Let's lock it on the... Lock it on the x-axis. Well, I want it locked on the x-axis, but I want to be here. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and just move this down a little bit. So an okay width, maybe down a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and see from the top. These are much easier. We'll say the side wings can hit whatever they want. We don't care. What I would probably do for this, since our other collision thingy wasn't working great, is I would probably just make multiple shapes for this. But for now, let's just make one little shape. And then this just needs to detect overlap events with other objects, which of course means that the landscapes actually need to have something that will help us generate those overlap events. But for now, let's just test this out by creating a random static body 3D. And then adding a random collision shape 3D. And also adding a random shape. What else is there? What is a shapecast 3D? That's not helpful. We need something to show us where it actually is in the world. Well, maybe I can just make it cover the whole floor, and then we'll just test if we can collide against it. Okay, so we just need to test that this is actually working. So we're just going to make a box shape 2D, and then we're just going to make it absolutely huge so that hopefully we can just run into it with our player pretty easily. And then we're just going to try to have our player like print out when it collides with something so that we can detect that. Okay, how is this looking height-wise? Yeah, sure, it's, okay, is it level with the ground? Like, what are we seeing here? Let's move it over so we can see based on the edge what it's level with. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's kind of, there we go. It's kind of level with the higher ground, so if we dive into the ground, we should definitely collide with it. But we need to make sure that in our script we're detecting if we overlap with anything. So let's make sure also that our area 3D has monitoring monitorable on. Excellent, excellent. And then in our script, we'll collision setup node. Let's just call it what it is. It's an area 3D. And then of course, collision, we'll just call it collider. Even though it's not technically a collider, it's like a collider in area 3D. We'll just say that's get child 0. Okay, so we get the collider, right? We have this collider right here. We go ahead and get that. And then we need to connect an event to it. So add, I'm thinking of Unreal stuff. Hang on. How can we, well, actually, we might even just be able to do this in the editor. Hang on. Area entered. Yeah, we can actually just do this in the editor and then connect it to the player ship, connect, boom, and then we just connected it in the editor, and we actually don't even need that. But when we do this, we'll just go ahead and print area dot name, and there we go. Now when we overlap anything, we should, we don't care about that, and we don't need this anymore. We are no longer doing everything in the script. We're now just doing some of the stuff in the editor, doing our connection in the editor. But it is not working. Wow, that looks trippy. Yeah, we dive in, but we don't get anything printed out. I think it's because maybe the static bodies don't collide with area 3Ds. So maybe this needs to be an area 3D with the collision shape under it. Maybe areas only collide with fellow areas. I don't know. Let's try it. Yeah, there we go. We go up, we turn around, we come back down. Area 3D again. Okay, so now it's colliding with this, which is great, but we need it to collide with all of our scenery. And in order to do that, I do not know what we're going to do. Because these obviously are much complex shapes. And so we need to figure out when the player is overlapping with the much more complex shape. How can we do that? Honestly, I have no idea. Add a world environment. My eyes are bleeding. That's fair. That's fair. Let's take a break from this just for a moment. Add a world environment. World environment. Much better already. Okay, I'm very dark though. Environment, new environment. Background. That's not what I'm trying to look for. What I'm trying to look for is fog. That's me a little darker. Dark brooding fog. Go ahead and make it volumetric. Let's try that out. That looks a little better, right? Right. Let's see how it looks in game. A bit better. It's very dark though, and also everything's shiny. I don't know why it's so shiny. Ugh. If you click on a terrain's mesh, you can generate a collision shape for it, which you can then put on Okay, wait. So how can we? Yeah, that's my main question here. Is how can we generate a collision mesh for this? Um. Oh, maybe in the scene. Does it have to be a? Let's do open anyway, just for a second here. CJ child scene experience. Click on the train's mesh, you can generate a collision shape for it. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what Google says. Generate collider Godot mesh. How do we create a mesh collider? That sounds promising. Select a mesh instance, look in the top menu bar. Oh, okay. You'll see a mesh menu. Alright. Wait, so it's in there, when we open our scene, and make a new inherited scene. Then we click on our mesh, and then we click on mesh, and then we can create a collision. Absolutely correct. Okay, so we need to, how long is this chat delay? I read that one pretty much as soon as it came in. Maybe I don't have the settings set up because this is a new channel. So let me check the settings. Oh, it's not on ultra low. Oh, it's not on ultra low. That's probably why. I did feel like it was a little long today. Like I feel like it was, yeah. It's on normal, which is, I don't know if it'll tell me what normal is. Let me just Google it. How long is normal latency YouTube chat? Why is this an option? Oh, dude, what? Look at this. In most cases, you'll want to stream with normal latency, which will result in a 15 to 60 second delay. I normally have it on ultra low because I want communication. 15 to 60 seconds? What am I gonna do? Waiting for a minute? That's insane. Does anybody use that? I mean, I guess if you were just like teaching a class or something and you didn't want people to talk, but like if it was like maybe if you were using like the Q&A feature and you didn't care about the chat, but oh my goodness, that's a long time. Yeah, so I messed up the settings because it's a new channel and I didn't fix the settings. I didn't reset up the settings. So, yeah, that's kind of rough. We're going to have to deal with that for the next half hour until the stream's over. And then next week I should have it corrected, for sure. That's pretty terrible though. I can't believe that's actually an option though. 60 seconds? I mean, that's insane, man. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I had one of the other settings off too, so I think this whole stream is just gonna, I don't even know if the VOD will actually correctly appear, but it's, yeah. It's a disaster, but we'll have to take the hit. Next week's stream should be much better. Yeah, good point out though, because that could have been bad if I left that on for like 3 streams or something. 15 to 60 seconds, unbelievable. I'm just turning these on to see, you know, if they make things look better, which they pretty much do, so that's nice. Except this one doesn't seem to do much. Yeah, so I think we got some good improvements to the environment. Oh. Yeah, not bad. I think what I'd like to do though is with the movement, because it just it isn't really dramatic enough that the spaceship's turning. Like it shows you a little bit, but what I'd probably like to do is kind of like scam it a little bit by putting the player inside of like an extra inside of like an extra empty object, so that then we could fudge the player rotation a little bit and have the player like actually double rotate, so it was moving, like looked like it was rotating twice as much this way as it is, and twice as much this way. We could also try just increasing the rotation speed. Hang on, rotation speed 300, not 3000. Probably not a good idea. Triple rotation speed, a little bit too much. 200. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Maybe we still make it so not quite as much. Just make it like 170. Yeah, I think that's fair. What would you do if you lose a game of pool and get laughed at? I've definitely had that happen before. Yeah, it's I'm not very good at pool. And I was playing against like people who were like good at pool. Like I'm talking about like good. Like one of them like just like would just like set the balls up and just do like crazy trick shots, and it's like he was very good. And then yeah, his younger brothers were also quite good. So I kind of had that happen before. Not very much because I don't really play pool much, but yeah, I have gotten wrecked at pool. I think the only solution really is to just immediately evacuate the scene, head home, go to your bed, and then immediately just weep for like 4 hours. I'm just kidding. You should probably just laugh it off and hide the internal pain as best as you possibly can. That's probably the best solution. So for turning these meshes into colliders, dude, I'm pretty tired, honestly. At some point, if this is the time of the live stream where if someone gave me an article to read or something, I'd happily do that, because game dev is hard work. Okay, so we want to make these into new inherited scenes, I think, is the plan, and then we'll like kind of resave them, and then let's see. Okay, so in Desert Pack, we just want to resave this. Well, we probably don't want it to be in the same folder. Hang on, Desert Pack. Let's go ahead and create a new folder, and we'll call this, actually, wait, hang on. What happens if I grab this, I copy it, and then I paste it back in the main scene? Then we just have the actual mesh in the main scene, and not any of that nonsense about the root. That seems much better. Let's see. No god rate. Let's see. What can we do? Well, all right. So we're gonna have to redo most of these bad boys. So I'm just gonna delete that. And now we just have this guy and that guy. And we want to delete him as well. We're gonna have to redo the landscape as well, because we need to turn these into meshes so we can actually get the colliders. So we'll call this mountain 1. As far as rays go, let's see. How can we turn on these rays? So we have fog. That should definitely help. Does it? Okay, if we have fog, we shouldn't need glow for that. What do we need? What do we need to create those? Do we need another light asset in the scene? Hang on. What does our light look like currently? Oh, our light is pointing exactly to the side. That probably doesn't help. Turn it down a little bit like that. All right, let's see. Yeah, still no rays though. I think we would probably need another light. Let's see, light. Maybe not. Let me just search it up. Godot God rays. Volumetric fog and a directional light, then playing with their settings. Yeah, but what kind of settings do we want? That's what I'm wondering. Light interaction with volumetric fog. Let's see. Okay, to simulate fog light scattering. So we really probably just need to increase the thickness of the fog. Let's see. Okay, so we have this at a nice angle. There's a 2-minute YouTube video on it. All right, if we can't get it in like 2 minutes, then we'll go and get some help. But fog, we have fog already. And we have, well, volumetric fog. We crank up the density. This doesn't quite work. We need to, have the reflection be a lot. We need a little bit more like reflection out of our fog. Let's see. No, okay, maybe we'll find our YouTube video. Hang on. All right. Godot God Rays. How I got God Rays in Godot 4.
So you think you know Wix?
Let's take a look.
First up, we've got Shake.
Yeah, go behind a mountain and definitely. Okay. Yeah, crank up the density. That's what I was saying. And then he was just playing around with the values. Okay, the anisotropy. Okay, crank up the anisotropy and the density to much higher values. Okay, and then yeah, getting a better angle should help us out. The ground is so shiny though. I really need to fix that. Okay, let's see. Crank up the density. Of course, he didn't crank up that much. I think let's try like 0.25. Won't honestly be too high anyway. But then he cranked up this. Okay, that was too much. Whoa, that's weird. Look at this. So when there's like a high point and then it just like goes back down. I guess because it's just so bright. That's crazy though. It looks like the moon. Okay, but you can see our rays are definitely about to come in. We just need to actually turn this down because it's way too high. But then it doesn't really show up. Okay, so we want it to like be softly showing, like a softly showing sun. And then see if we can get the rays. We need to get the rays more. Hang on, let's see. Does he do anything else? Well, he changes the volume size. Oh, dude, that's looking crazy good in there. Hang on. Increase volumetric light strength in the directional light. Oh, do we have to change something in the directional light? Light. Now it's just taking over. But now maybe if we crank some values down in here. It's just always so even. It doesn't split. We need to kind of split. Like he obviously has the leaves, which makes it work a lot better, but all right, let's take a look. So he has a 0.1, a 0.68, and then he increased the size of the environment, but ours should be, we can see if that's the problem. Size of the environment. Environment. What? General environment. Oh, he has advanced settings turned on, of course. Gotta turn that on. Okay, environment, volumetric fog, light size. Sure, let's just crank it up to nice 512. Okay, it's lagging out. Look at my mouse, guys. Look at my mouse. 512 is apparently too big. I thought it would be fine, but we'll do 256. Fine performance, feels like. Okay, so we've scaled up the volumetric fog size. Turn that up to 0.1. Okay, we're kind of getting it. Okay, it's so bright because we put this up, I think, probably too high. Let's see if we can tune this. It's still just a ball though. It's still just a ball. We need it to like, you can kind of, it's like if the rays are like head on, then you can see them, but you can't like see them when they're on like the side, when they're like to the side. Oh wait, there we go. Hang on. Ooh. Hang on. There we go. There's a ray. Okay. There's some rays. There we go. Now we're getting it a little bit. We just have to tune the values exactly right, maybe. Okay, we want it to be pretty bright. Let's put it back to 1 though. I think the main problem now is just that we need to get a good angle on like our mountain if we want to actually see the rays cutting over it. Yeah, because you can see some rays like kind of popping in and out. And he's got like a crazy forest scene, which is going to make it look really good. Okay, and then he cranked the emission a little bit. I think that would kind of damage the effect, but I guess that just makes it more dramatic in the under areas. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. Emission. All right, so hang on. What's that? Okay, so we want our sun color. I feel like if we make it a little red, because it's like a desert, you know, and it's also sci-fi, so we could definitely get some good stuff going there. A red sun. And then we want the fog that's around, since it's a desert, and it would be more of like a brown type of thing. A dull brown. Any fog sitting around on the ground would have more of a dull brown type of stuff. Okay. There we go. Behold the ray. We really just need something to see the rays through. Like this obviously looks exceptional because of the rays through. Honestly, I did not know Godot could make such a beautiful scene as this. Look at that. That looks so good. We just need more objects for the rays to go through. That's the main reason we can't see them. Like, you can occasionally see them on this mountain here if we just like play around with it right. But yeah, we need more objects for the ray to cut through to make a better high quality scene. Okay, so how can we do that? We need more objects in the scene generally. And actually, maybe we can use our ship as a little thing to hide behind and get the rays. Well, they have to be the exact right angle though. Yeah, so we really just need more stuff. More stuff equals more rays. That is our hope. So let's go ahead and give this mountain a collision, and then we'll duplicate him and get some more of him. Okay, so we right click, no, it was under the mesh menu. Here we go. That's right. Create, let's see, I think it's a single convex collision, the fastest but least accurate. Middle ground. Okay, let's try that one. Okay, and then these need to be the child of an area 3D. So all we have to do, I think, is just add an area 3D under him, right? We'll call it also Mountain 1. Well, we'll call it Mountain Collider. And then we'll put all of these under it. I believe is the plan. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks okay. Let's see if performance is decent. And then let's see if we run into this. Mountain Collider. Perfect. And then if we duplicate him, we can get colliders for all of the mountains. This is just so dramatic. Is there a way to, okay, we've turned off the regular fog. I'm just going to turn that off while we're editing. Actually, wait, I think we can turn it off in the editor, maybe. Let's see, view. Maybe we can. All right, I'll just turn it off here while we're editing, just to make it a little easier. So we've got our mountain. We're just gonna duplicate the mountain a few times and then use our scale and rotation to kind of, okay, that was a little bit too much. Use our scale and rotation, not trying to rotate it like that. Use our scale and rotation, just kind of put it, get some mountains surrounding this place and looking good. Of course, one of the main things is just to make sure there's not any gaps, like that little gap there. Okay, let's try. Duplicating. Well, so if you select multiple and then hit F to frame them, it doesn't really do a great job framing all of them. It just goes to their origin or something, I think. I don't know. Kind of weird. Okay, we just duplicate all of them. Not really trying to move them down. Actually, we could move them down a little just to make them look a little bit more different. And then boom, we have a beautiful, beautiful mountain range surrounding our little playground area. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's just rotate a little bit more just to get the last bit in line there. Okay, let's play it and see what is to be seen. All right, nice. Yeah, so we got the mountains. We got a pretty nice movement controller, and then since we're detecting these, we should be able to get some have it like be destroyed or something when it actually hits those. Also, we need to do that for the landscape as well. Let's do that right quick. Open anyway, then we just duplicate the actual mesh part of it. And then paste it in landscape. We'll move all these mountains over to be children of it. Delete the old landscape because we don't like it. And then we just have to do mesh, create multiple convex collision siblings, and then make these a child of an area 3D. And then what I'm thinking is we get all of the area 3Ds. Let's see, open this, close that. We get all of the area 3Ds, and then we put them in a group, and then that group is called like ground or something, and then we can just have the player detect, and if they hit the ground, then it's game over or whatever. So obviously the player shouldn't be crashing into stuff. Select all of these, node. Wait, can I group some multiple nodes at once? That's kind of annoying. Okay, I guess we'll just have to do it one at a time. Unless we can do it here. Okay, wait, we might be able to do it here. You don't like area 3Ds? I think the area 3Ds are, they seem helpful. Because we don't want to deal with all the collision stuff, or with all the physics stuff of a rigid body, but we just want to have some, what the heck? Why does our landscape look like this? What the heck? No, this is the wrong mesh. Oops. Copy this, and then paste it out here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. We did a little mistake there. Delete that. Move all of these down into the new landscape. Delete the old landscape. This is the actual landscape. Looks good. Okay, and then we of course just need to add an area 3D, which we'll call landscape collision. Yeah, so I apparently accidentally made a collider for the mountain instead of for this. So the landscape needs to actually have a landscape collision, which now it will. And then I just want to add all of these to a group, so let's call this landscape. Add that, and then I think we can do manage groups and then just select. Let's search for all mountain colliders. Then we can just select all of them and go ahead and add them to the landscape group. Perfect. And now the last thing, collapse landscape. Player ship, go into the script, and on area 3D entered, if area dot is in group landscape, then print game over. And obviously we would actually play like some kind of explosion effect. Yep, okay, game over. We started a little bit too low. There, game over again. See if we can hit this mountain. Game over. Yeah, so there we go. We got a little ship controller, and now if we crash into anything, it would give us a little blowy uppy type stuff. if we wanted to implement that. I think it's pretty good. And we did end up implementing. Oh wow, we were supposed to be implementing different asset packs, and we only implemented 2, so we didn't get a lot done there. Maybe we should work on that right quick. Oh, also, I turned off our world environment. I should probably turn that back on so everyone can see it, because it looks much better. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a nice red sun up there. You can fly through here. I'm not sure how tight the collisions are. Yeah, so that definitely wasn't a collision, but it acted as though it was a collision. So the collisions aren't perfect. And we have a little hole in the map here, but you get the idea. Let's add a little bit more to the map before we're done, because we have a little bit of time left, but we should probably roll out soon. So let's just try to throw in a couple other things, make the map feel a little bit more alive, and complete our mission of adding more assets into the game. Also, we can move the player ship off the ground so it doesn't game over immediately. Okay, what can we add? What other assets did we take a look at? All of these tabs we should be done with now. No, too late. We don't have time for Mixamo nonsense. We have this other ship, but that's not great. Let's try to find some other assets. Oh, and I think we have some imported anyway. We have like some trees and stuff. Hang on. There's like some bushes. Wow, that's a very, very low poly bush. Hang on. More of a tree, really, too. Also, I don't think it fits the vibe very well. Hang on, let's play and see it in game. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. We're not doing that. Well, guys, what makes sense on an alien desert planet? A log? Maybe, I don't know. Mounting 1, what is a mount? Oh, it's mountain. Yeah, we already have plenty of those. Plants, rocks. Okay, rocks not bad. I'm gonna add some little rocks to give a little more excitement. Stone. Is that tiny? I can't see it at all. Yeah, I guess it's just small. And then more just rocks, really. Wow, yeah. Should add a normal map. Yeah, no, I need to add some, like, a normal and some, like, specular. What is it? Specular. Turn down the specular or something, because it looks mighty weird. What is this area 3D here as well? Oh, this was the test area 3D. We can delete that. Okay, yeah, let's figure out this. So the mesh, I think we need to change its material. Hang on. Shadow mesh. Surface material override. Yeah, let's create a new material here and then get some work done here. We can color pick this color that everything else is, and there we go. Now it's much less shiny, so that's definitely a plus. Let's see. All right, so it's not shiny anymore, but it looks a little not super great. Do we have any textures? No, I think the other ones were just single colors as well. No textures, I don't think. Textures. That's interesting. Just some random stripes. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I guess it was like a color palette that they were using, so then you would just manually select, one of those bad boys from the texture. I also feel like, obviously, there's a hole here, but maybe if we rotate it, okay, not everything, so that's not going to work. Yeah, we might just have to move the other mountains up. We had moved them down just so they would kind of look a little bit different, but seems like maybe that isn't working, or maybe we just have to pull them in a little bit, pull them over. Grab mountain 4 and then just put them in the remaining slot. There we go, no more hole, I think. Is there still a hole? Little bit of a hole. Let's grab, what is this, mountain 5 maybe? Yeah, mountain 5. Bring him up a little bit. Bring him in a little bit, I guess. There we go, no more hole. Everything's sealed up. Okay, so this terrain definitely looks better. Well, I still have it on the stripe actually. Let's just remove that and leave it as a solid color. I think that's not too bad. If we set the mountains to that, you think that's okay? Trying to give it a nice rock finish, because obviously we don't want it to be shiny like that is very, like, that's just metal and that looks very weird. But that's still a little bit too shiny. Let's see, 0.8. There we go. Like, so we just want it to look like a decent rock texture. Doesn't seem like the specular is really implemented. Emission. We definitely don't want that. Oops. And then, I think, yeah, it's just already, we don't have a normal map for this. There's not much we can do there. Okay. Then if we apply this material to all of the other ones, let's see, can we save this? Save as, wow, we only have one folder. This is terrible. I mean, we have a couple of folders, but create a folder, materials, desert. There we go. And then we can select all of these and surface material override, empty, load, materials, desert.tres. Perfect. And there we go. Voila. Our scene is completed. Okay, it's not a great scene, but it's not too shabby. I do like the lighting effects actually look pretty okay. Especially since we're going for more of a low poly vibe. And yeah, obviously it's pretty empty. We definitely need to add a good bit of stuff. But hey, we have basic functionality. It can detect if we crash into it. That's nice. Detect if we crash into it. Nice. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. We do, yeah, we have the new channel, guys. So hopefully the transition isn't too rough. Basically, just trying to make sure that all the game dev stuff is over here, electronic stuff over there. Change the sky effect to be lower, and give the sky a texture. We can do that. Let's throw a skybox on here. We get another asset in the mix. What is it? Textures.com. Is that the one where you get textures? I can't remember. They have skyboxes here for free. Is this the one where everything is free? No, this is the wrong. I'm thinking of wait, I think it was Polyhaven. Polyhaven. I think they have HDRIs. Let me check. Here we go. Yeah, something like this, nice and simple. Of course, if we want our desert look, then we're gonna need to like dye it red or something. But this is a pretty simple sky, so I think this will work nicely for us. Okay, and then yeah, actually, we might even be able to. Hang on, can we actually do anything in here to just mess with it right quick? Tint. Nice. Tint and temperature both up should give us more of a red, I believe. Saturation. That doesn't, yeah, that's not quite. We just want it to be a little bit more red, that's all. Don't need to be extreme. Okay, there we go. We just made it a little bit more red. Maybe we can do more in Godot, I'm not sure. Okay, so we have this. Wait, is Godot gonna actually handle this? I'm not sure. Okay, it did. Okay, how do we throw this in? Sky. Sky. New sky. Sky material. Can we drag and drop? That's the question. What the heck? Alert. Requested file format. Uh-oh. Guys, we may have hung Godot. Not great. Not great. We're trying to give the sky a texture, but it does not like us very much. We might have to restart Godot. Yeah, we're gonna have to restart Godot. Okay, let's try again. I have to figure it. Chat delay is too late. I'll fix it for next stream. I can't believe that. I can't believe that's even an option. That's crazy. I can't believe they did me like that. No, sir. Yeah, I lost all my preset settings. Okay. Let's see. Sky, empty, new sky. Okay. Oops. I did not mean to do that. Okay, so we can already add a new sky, but we want it to actually be a material. Wait, what is this procedural sky material thing? That sounds kind of interesting. Temporarily, let me take away this light. Yeah, no, it's gone, so we can see the sky better. We would like the top color to be red, and we would like the bottom color to be brown. Okay. Yeah, well, we would kind of like to use our sky texture if possible. Let's see, what else do we have? Physical sky material? No. Yeah, so if we just do a regular shader and then we just... I don't know. I would like it to just do that, but it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to just take an image in here. Sky. Okay, let's see. New sky. I also don't know what this well, if Godot even understands this .exr format. Where did I put this texture? Yeah, because I don't think it does. This isn't just like a regular image. This is like something fancy, I think. All right, so we might not be able to do that just yet. Canvas, unless we can do canvas. Keep camera feed. No, yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that just yet. All right, let's put our light back on. We get our nice lighting effect. Yeah, all right. Well, that's it's called panorama sky. I tried that. Let me see. Mode sky, new sky, sky material, new panorama sky material, panorama. Wait, I think I tried that. Maybe I didn't try that. Hang on, let me turn off the directional light so we can actually see the sky. Yeah, we can see it very, very vaguely. It's definitely being canceled a lot out by this emission here. Right, okay. So, we can turn this emission on a little bit, but it does definitely block out the sky a lot. Turn off volumetrics. And now we have to turn this back down. Yeah, I mean, we can have just the sky, but then that's kind of sad. So we definitely want the volumetric fog. We just want to tune the settings a little bit so that it looks okay. And then also we need the sun to be coming from the correct direction, which is close, but it's not quite right on. Hang on. It's actually not. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But the sun is a little bit too bright, so then our whole sky is pretty much hidden when we do that. Just turn it on softly. And decrease its sky effect. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, wait, if we balance this right. There we go. No, Mr. Beast is mid. I am the true YouTube goat that you should watch. I don't care if you wanna, I mean, I mean, personally, my content is a bit more educational than Mr. Beast, I have to say. So, you know, I'm kind of winning there, but okay, yeah. So the real problem is that our sky doesn't really match with what we're trying to do here with our red lighting and brown volumetric fog. But yeah, we'll just have to. Yeah, if the sky material matched a little bit better, then it would definitely work a bit better. But I mean, we have a little bit of clouds now, a little bit of clouds along with our little sun. Let's take a look. Oh wow, okay, it is much too bright in play mode. Interesting. Yeah, so it looks much different in play mode versus the actual what we have in the editor. Much different. Also, our ship material could definitely use some more metallics. It looks very flat and boring. Player ship. Oh yeah, but then we would have to do shenanigans. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for content too, because I'm going to need a lot more content now that I have this new whole channel devoted to game development. I'm definitely going to need to stack up some content. So, definitely more content coming. I already have several planned, but that's going to be it for tonight. So, yeah, that should be it. Guys, I've been streaming for how long? A while. I've been streaming for 3 hours, 2 hours and 15, 2.5 hours. All right, yeah, thanks guys. Especially Glorzoid, you really came in clutch helping me out with some of those things. Next time I will have the chat rate fixed. I don't have to wait a whole minute before seeing what you guys sent. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'll definitely fix that for next time. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully the new channel is a success and everyone can just come over to the new channel and I mean, except for the electronics people, but we don't need them. But yeah, well, I could stream for another 5 minutes, but I already closed Godot. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, and plus, if I stream for another 5 minutes, then you'll ask me to stream for another 5 minutes, and then another 5 minutes, and then another 5 minutes, and then it's just gonna be a whole mess. So, yeah, I should probably go ahead and quit, while I still have control before you guys, try to take over or something like that. Yeah, same time next week, guys. I'm working on increasing the amount of streaming, but that's it's kind of quiet. You guys got to keep that quiet. All right. Yeah, that should be it for tonight. There's no question. You didn't even ask me a question. No questions at all. If you have your question, you can ask it next week. Definitely ask it next week. Yep. No, yep. Time to close it out. Yep. All right. That should be it.